Hello, and welcome back to A Taste of RPGs, where we test play an RPG to give you a little taste of the diversity of games out there and maybe help you find something you'll enjoy. My name is Marissa, and with me, as always, is Christopher and Audrey, and today we have Ellie as our special guest. Thank you, Ellie, for being here.
Thanks,
And today we are going to be playing Alice is Missing by Hunters Entertainment. Alice is Missing is a silent role-playing game about the disappearance of Alice Briarwood, a high school junior in the small town of Silent Falls. It's a mystery game, so we won't include any spoilers for you, although a lot of the gameplay does depend on the characters and the relationships that you create. And then also I wanted to give a brief content warning up top because this game is about a missing high school girl. It's fiction, but it does deal with some real-world stuff, and it might include violence, sexual assault, date rape, teenage adult relationships, partner abuse, rough home situations. So if you're not in a space to deal with stuff like that, this game might not be for you. But boundaries, regardless, are important, and this game does have some safety rules written into it. The game utilizes the X card, which means that you can remove any content from the game, no questions asked. Just put an X in parentheses or X content in parentheses in the chat, and then that content will be deleted. And it also uses veils and lines. So a line is something that you don't want to be brought up at all, and a veil is something that you can kind of allude to but shouldn't be discussed in detail. So before we started, I suggested that we veil gore, violence, sexual assault, and victim blaming. Does anyone else have anything to add, or be good with that? All right. So let's make our characters.
Cool.
Okay, and I'll start by reading the introduction card. Silent Falls is a small coastal forest town in the heart of Northern California. It's quiet here, and since the recession a few years ago, people are not as friendly as they used to be. It's been a rough few years for everyone. The major high school in town, Franklin Academy, lies nestled in the wooded hills on the east side. It's the last day before winter break, and students shuffle down the hallways, dusting off a light powder of snow from their jackets. It's cold today. Down the main corridor, past the barren trophy case and peeling Franklin Academy decal plastered on the wall, hangs a bulletin board. A cluster of students are gathered at it, and around the edges we see old posters for student body elections, sign-ups for football next year, reminders about the upcoming senior ball, littered about like mousetraps. But as the students part, we land on the flyer they were all huddled around. And this is our missing person poster for Alice. All right, so first up, we're gonna pick our characters. This top row of cards are the available characters to play. So we have Charlie Barnes, the one who moved away, Jack Briarwood, the older brother, Dakota Travis, the best friend, Julia North, the secret girlfriend, and Evan Hallwell, the one with the crush. So as facilitator, I'll be playing Charlie. So go ahead and pick your characters.
I'll be Dakota.
Great.
Then I'll take Julia.
Someone else wants to be Dakota.
Nah, I'll take Julia.
It's you.
I'll take Evan.
And Evan. Perfect. So for the character cards, the cards have the name, the archetype, which is like the best friend. Under it, they have a background question, which we'll share in a minute. The secret, which it's a secret, but it should be revealed to at least one other person during the game. And the last thing on the card is the voicemail prompt, which we will do also in a minute. And if you can work your secret into your voicemail, all the better. And then the drive cards have a motive, which kind of just gives you a little bit more about your own headspace, and two relationships. And so we'll establish those relationships in a minute. There's two, so it'll go to two different characters. And they're kind of one-sided because that's kind of how life is. So one might be like, you don't like me, or I think you don't like me, and you maybe don't think that's true, but. So I'll start, and then we'll just go around and introduce ourselves. So my name is Charlie Barnes. I use she, her pronouns. I'm 5'6", shoulder length, dark brown hair, blue eyes. I look a little mousy, but also very girly. And I moved away from Silent Falls with my mom at the end of last school year after my parents got divorced. And I'm back in town to stay with my dad for winter break. And I'm super excited to see Alice and everybody else while I'm here. But a few days ago, Alice stopped responding, and I haven't heard from her since.
So I'm Julia North. I'm the secret girlfriend. I use the pronoun she, hers. I'm athletic and on the track team. I have like long dark hair that I wear in a ponytail all the time. I come from a religious family background, so I think that we've tried to keep our relationship like pretty secret. So like I would think like Dakota knows, and like maybe other people suspect, but like the parents definitely don't know.
I am Dakota Travis. I am 5'3" with short, dark brown hair. I'm picturing like a bob middle part, obviously.
Obviously.
Because I'm young. Probably just like a medium build, very non-athletic. And Alice and I grew up next door to one another. And she's been my best friend since before I can remember. Because I'm quite short and she's quite tall. So people make jokes about it. And she, her, hers pronouns.
Okay, I'm Evan Holwell. My pronouns are he and his, and I'm somewhat average looking, except I have really bad acne. Unlike a lot of people in town, I have some money. I live in a large Victorian house by the river.
My background question is, what kind of a teenager is Alice? So before I moved away, I knew her as a very good student. She's well liked. I think she's very friendly, pretty popular, outgoing, but definitely really flirty with the boys. Definitely a big flirt.
What happens if they're like semi-contradictory? Do we all just revise?
So if it's like, you can either revise it or just kind of make sense. Like maybe I know her as a good student who's like flirty, and you think like, but actually she smokes weed behind the gym. Like that can still live in the world together. Right. So that's fine. Or if it's like, but if it's like super different, now's the time.
Like she's so mean. She never talked to a single boy in her life. The background question is, what about Alice do other people sometimes find annoying, but you appreciate? And I said Alice wouldn't let things go and held grudges. Other people hated it, but as a best friend, it's a great quality. She was loyal to a fault, some might say.
So I can go next. My background question was, how did you and Alice meet? And we met in chemistry class when I accidentally lit my lab notes on a fire with a Bunsen burner, and she helped me put it out.
Lit a fire both in the science lab and your
and
heart.
in her heart.
All right. My background question is, tell us what rumor you've heard about Alice that you don't believe is true.
Ooh.
And a lot of people are saying that Alice slept with Mr. R, who's a teacher at school, but I don't believe it at all.
Cool. So next up is the relationships. So on my card, one is, I know you don't care about Alice as much as I do, which I'm going to assign to Dakota. Tension. Oh, you're best friends. We grew up together. Oh. I know. I love her the most.
Never Charlie. One of mine, I'm giving it. It's I know how you really feel about Alice.
Ooh.
I kind of want to throw back at Charlie, but I assigned it to Evan.
Ooh.
And then The other one is we've never gotten along, which I'm assigning to Julia.
That works out though, because I was going to assign you, I think you don't like me.
So Alice has forgiven you for something, but I haven't. And that's Dakota, because I don't forgive her for kissing Dylan. Yeah, because Alice was flirting with Dylan and seemed to like him.
I had dibs on Dylan, and Alice was flirting with him after I had dibs on him. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to create some starting hunches. This top row of cards are the location cards. They include the lighthouse on the Howling Sea Cliffs and the Dripping Dagger nightclub, and they represent all the places that Alice could possibly be in our game, and we will discover her location by the end of the game. And then the bottom row are the suspect cards, and these are the people that we suspect had something to do with Alice's disappearance. They include Ryan, the ex-boyfriend, and Mr. H, the history teacher. And again, by the end of the game, we'll know which one of them is the culprit. So we're each going to pick a card, a location card and a suspect card, and describe why that place or person is suspicious to us.
Went down to the river, washed my sins away, and pray, 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 and pray for another day. I went down to that river, washed my sins for free. The devil's on the other bank, staring back at me. I'm a dead man walking, I'm a dead man walking, I'm a dead man. Another nail in my coffin, another nail for me. I gotta look pretty when I go down.
So that was Alice is Missing. What are your thoughts?
It was Alice is Missing. It was a lot. I cried. And like teared up a few times. It was rough.
As I said earlier, it's one of the more intense storytelling experiences I've had in a long time, whether it be from a book or a movie or even gaming. It was quite a real feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in general, I think I struggle a lot with the role-playing part of RPGs. And so this, having it all be text and like not face-to-face, it felt really easy just to like slip into the world.
Yeah, like I definitely got invested in like all of the characters, and when any of the characters were like in dangerous situations, I was like, no.
It was surprising how like clear everybody's character was too. Like I had such clear mental images of everybody and like how the group worked as well. Cause like it just surprised me because I didn't think that I would feel that way over text solely, you know?
Same.
Yeah, it was surprising how fast you get into the role.
Mm-hmm.
And as a bunch of you have said it, you know, you just quickly get into that, partly because of texting, and you just kind of are doing the thing, you know, instead of saying, you know, I do this, you just type it and text it.
Yeah.
And the timer mechanic was really great. Like this is a 90-minute game and it was 90 minutes and it it
Yeah.
felt quicker. Like it just kept pace really well. I think it was
Mhm.
super easy to like keep it going.
Yeah, I do feel like it was actually like a perfect 90 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I was surprised at how quickly things moved. Like I thought there was going to be a lot more like downtime, but it felt like we were always talking about something because like different people were pulling different cards and introducing new things. So like, and I feel like something was always going on, which it was impressive. It was not at all boring at any point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which for people at home, we used a combination of Discord and Roll20, which I think the game designers did a really fantastic job of recognizing that like the world is as it is. So they made it really easy to play, which I appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
It still felt very immersive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, super immersive.
Maybe even more immersive than it would have if we were all in a room together, honestly.
I think so. 'Cause you can't like, I don't know, there were parts where different characters were in danger and you can't like look at the person and be like, get any clues at all about what's going on with their character.
Yep.
It was
Right.
like literally just the text message, which is what it would be if you're like sitting at home waiting for this person to text you back.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. The anxiety was high.
Oh yeah, it was real.
Yeah, a little bit more tension than when we played Ready, Set, Bake.
Just yeah. So Taste of RPG team, what is coming up next in our lineup?
Well, up next, we're finally getting to Fiasco.
Yes.
Awesome. Excellent.
Fantastic. Okay, any final thoughts?
Definitely recommend it.
Yes.
It is intense.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're not in a great headspace, I don't recommend it. But
Yeah.
if you're in a like good headspace,
It is dark. It is
it's
dark.
like it's dark. It takes dark turns.
Yeah.
So
But
So unique, too.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Right.
it was really cool.
and I do think the text base helps a lot too.
Mhm.
Because you have time to think and to like stay in character and stuff. But
Cool.
it was really good.
Well, thank you all for playing with me. Thank you all for watching
Thank
at
you.
home. See you next time for Fiasco.
Bye.